All right, ladies and gentlemen, the technical difficulties have been sorted out, but it is quite apparent that I need to get a new USB hub for my system. I spent the last couple of minutes trying to figure out why my laptop didn't recognize this USB hub that I've been using, and I couldn't talk. My mic wasn't working. It wouldn't recognize my mouse. It was just a whole bunch of technical difficulties. But it's all for the sake to make sure that you guys get the quality that you so richly deserve. Let's go ahead and get started, shall we? Yo, peoples! Qushu92 here. It is good to see you all once again. Like I said, apologies for the technical difficulties. They just crept out of nowhere. I was about to sit down and move my mouse to start the stream, only to find that my mouse was not responding at all. So it was like a whole bunch of extra. So sorry for being 13 minutes late sorting all of that out. It's good to see Ogata, Halster, Cohagen, and Ozzy, thank you, one of my loyalist of members as well. It's good to see you. Let's begin. Last we left off, we had Luffy and the crew talking to Yorl and finding out about what happened with Loki and how just how much people really don't like Loki. And not only that, but also finding out that Zoro's telling Luffy he probably lied to you just so you could set him free. And, Luffy and company are off with Roto as they go to the main castle because Nami wants to steal all the treasure from there. And we find that those two people who have been confirmed to be Holy Knights, they have found Loki and want to enlist him into the Holy Knights. Of course, Loki refuses, and we get one of them by the name of Gunko, who appears to have some sort of bandage, binding, wrapping type devil fruit, kills one of Loki's wolves because he relents. So we have that going on. And the last we see of Loki is him saying, hold on, let me pull up the last page here. He goes, let's see, you've sealed your, but a warrior doesn't quibble and whine about his way of death. Instead, I'll feed on this rage and use it to bring the world to ruin. And that's the last we saw of Loki. So let's get started with chapter 1137. Whew! Introducing Shamrock. Shamrock? Okay. Chapter 1137. Introducing Shamrock. Ogre Child Yamato's Golden Harvest Surrogate Pilgrimage Volume 23, Infiltrate the Sketchy Hideout. And remember, the last we saw of Yamato's cover story was Yamato, Lady Speed, and Tama came across this building deep within Udon that looks eerily similar and has motifs patterned off of Who's Who. And now, inside, we have what appears to be samurai that either samurai or beast pirates. I'm going to say beast pirates because we still got the pauldrons there. The beast pirate cape and pauldrons on their shoulders. So these look like former beast pirates who are trying to blend in with being samurai. And these three guys appear to be speaking to someone, but we don't see who it is as Yamato and Tama try to, look inside. So let's see what the next cover story brings us, because apparently we're not going on break. We're not going on break after this chapter, so let's begin. And we have Road. And the rest of them getting to Aurus Castle in Elbaf. In the 14 years since King Harold's death, no one has dared approach this castle. Or so I thought, but it's clear that someone has broken through the door, and there are no guards standing watch.
So, is this a bad sign then?
Intruders, but these doors were broken from the inside. Zoro can tell something wrong is definitely wrong because the doors were broken from the inside because Gunko and the other Holy Knight, they were teleported in. We'll figure it out when we get in there. Keys! Keys! This destruction looks fresh. Zoro is out here being the detective. He's seeing like, nah, something's off here. This was broken from the inside, and it looks like it happened recently. Be on your guard. Wait, please! Wait, please, wait! This is frightening! Wow, this castle is huge! And we see the inside of Ulris Castle, where it looks like there's a ton of tree growths that are making its way throughout the castle, because the castle itself is sitting on top of a gigantic, thick branch of Elbaf itself. And you see the growth in between the cracks of the mortar and the stone.
Wow, this castle is huge!
I can't even see the ceiling.
It's way too big. I can't walk across this.
Hey, Roto, where are the keys? And it has Roto and Roto carrying Zoro and Nami in his hand, and he's kind of blushing as he goes, I'm just a common man. I've never been inside the castle.
But we're very lucky to have you with us.
Really? Ultra Real Nami? I was just thinking the same thing. Onward. And, Zoro taking advantage of the situation says, you, person I could kill easily. Keep walking. And this castle is huge. There's so many levels in here. This could double as an Elden Ring dungeon. So, this is what it's like in here. I'm overcome with both wonder and fear. Is all of this destruction from the intruders? No. King Harold passed after a vicious battle with Loki. Harold fought Loki. What you see are the scars of that fight. So the ruins inside Castle Ulrest are the remains of Harold and Loki fighting each other? What you see are the scars of that fight. That's some serious devastation. Loki is a monster to be sure, but King Harold was also known as a great warrior of his own. Destruction was inevitable. Whoa, it's huge!
Wait, what is this? It's horrifying! It's like a giant graveyard!
Because we walk into a room and there's tons of swords, giant swords everywhere, and bones. Lots and lots of bones. Yes, naturally. There were many soldiers in the castle. Loki slew over 100 stout warriors that day. Loki killed 100 giants that one day that he also killed King Harold. Loki slew over 100 stout warriors that day. The only survivors among the castle were Chief Jarl and Loki himself. It was such a shocking and bloody scene that it was agreed the castle should be sealed and left untouched afterward. Perhaps it is now haunted by vengeful spirits. Check it out, you guys! Look how big this skull is! It's even got horns! Just like oars. Look how big this skull is! It's even got horns! Is it like oars? These largest bones belong to the warriors with the blood of ancient giants. There are no longer any purebloods, but some still have traces in their history. In fact, King Harold himself was very large and mighty. Okay, so now this brings into question Kaido. Does he have traces of ancient giant blood in him for him to have horns? Is that the case with Kaido? He's got ancient giant blood in him? Is that the reason for the horns? And Yamato has it as well? So it passed on from Kaido to Yamato? And it also means that Black Maria might have horns as well? It might have ancient giant blood in her as well for her to have horns? Kaido, Black Maria, Yamato. Everyone else just has horns motif because, beast pirates. So now it makes you wonder. They have ancient giant ancestry. Ooh, Oda, okay. The largest bones belong to the warriors with the blood of ancient giants. There are no longer any purebloods, but some still have traces in their history. In fact, King Harold himself was very large and mighty. Ah, just look up. I haven't seen that visage in years. That is a portrait of King Harold. The man who loved peace and attempted to bridge the gap between Elbaf and the rest of the world. The greatest king in the history of Elbaf, they say. He looks strong. The scarring on his head is where he ripped out his horns. He ripped out his horns. He ripped out his own horns in his head. The scarring on his head is where he ripped out his horns, the mark of his ancient giant blood. To him, ancient giants were a reminder of our area of war. He had horns? And the thing is, when you look at King Harold's face, his beard looks eerily similar to Kaido's. It's spiky just like Kaido's. I'm just saying. To him, ancient giants were a reminder of our era of war. He had horns? That takes serious guts. His Majesty's death was a shock to all, but it was the hardest upon the other son of King Harold, Harudin, who had the most cause to hate Loki for his actions. What? Really?
He and Loki are brothers?
Yes, but from different mothers. Harudin was born to another woman prior to Harold's marriage to the queen. You see, Elbaf did not allow for Harudin's mother to be queen.
How come?
She was from a different giant nation. Why does that matter? You're all giants. We're all giants? Do you humans not wage war over land and resources as well? Oh, yeah. And Luffy just starts running up the stairs. Giants from other areas will tarnish the blood of Elbaf.
You have some really bigoted views about other giants and humans.
Oh, but you're different.
Don't suck up to me, scum!
And the thing is, women can't insult Roto anymore because he's turned on by it. He's a masochist to women now. So if Harudin's blood is tarnished, why did you ride with this crew? Because
Roto the nerd, what a creep!
And Roto was being picked on when he was younger.
Wow, this is amazing. You can draw sea charts? Show me how to do it. You wanna be my friend?
You wanna be my friend?
Huh? Friend?
Unlike me, he is a truly honest and straightforward man. Despite being unable to live in the castle with his father, and seeing the way his mother was tormented, he withstood all of that pain and said, I want to unify all of giant kind. Oh, I love Harudin. Oh, I love Harudin! I'm the man who will be king of all giants, and I know you can do it. And I know you can do it! Harudin! Harudin! Because he's just enjoying the revelry with the rest of the giants right now. This makes me love Harudin. He's moved up on my popularity chart, my personal popularity chart. Harudin has definitely moved up. He is now directly beneath Bartolomeo. Nothing against Cavendish, but Bartolomeo is at the top of favorite character from the Straw Hat Grand Fleet. Harudin is now directly underneath, because Cavendish only wants the spotlight. I want to help his dream come true. So you can be reasonable after all. Kind of boring. And Nami's just laughing. And then Luffy goes, hey, come check it out! Some giants are knocked out over here! Underworld Elbaf.
Is it sinking in yet?
I told you already. I can't move. Gunko has been beating up Loki. And then the person that looks eerily similar to Shanks goes, It doesn't change our question.
A member of the common rabble, receiving a chance to join the rank of gods, is a miracle one can only dream of. And we are offering you that miracle now.
And Gunko has created giant boots. Giant boots that she can stand in. I want to say stilts. Giant stilts that end in giant feet as well. And she's just got these in front of Loki. She's been beating up on Loki. and she stomps on the ground. Wait a minute, there's fire. Wait a minute. She stomps on the ground and there's like this black fire on the ground. And when she stomps on it, what in the world? What is this power? She stomps on it and an arrow comes out of the fire itself and it starts to make its way towards Loki. And he's going, darn it, not again. And it starts to move. It starts to move. And it curves in front of Loki, and then another one goes upwards next to Loki's face, and he's going, huh? So your foot's gonna accelerate to kick my right cheek, and after I turn the other way. And then it shows Gunko as she's creating what appears to be a big gauntlet, starting to create a gauntlet over her fists. And after I've turned the other way, you'll give me an uppercut with that fist of yours. Thanks for the heads up.
Those arrows are the confirmed path of my very future, a declaration of unavoidable violence. But it is possible for me to change course. So I ask you again, Loki, will you join the Holy Knights? And as she starts sliding, she starts walking, taking that path that's gonna injure Loki even more. He goes, heck no, moron! And then Gunko immediately starts accelerating to Loki, and she starts beating him up. She starts doing exactly what she said she was going to do. And she starts beating up the same way Loki described how she was going to beat up on him. She starts doing that immediately. And all we see is just Gunko beating up on Loki over and over and over again. And then it just shows Loki, bleeding all over. And he just hangs his head. All the creatures that sided with Loki, many of them are bloodied and beaten and stabbed with multiple arrows from Gunko. I want to know what this devil fruit is. And they're just gurring and growling at Gunko and the other person. And Loki is being messed up. Darn it.
Pardon me.
You'll regret this.
And then it shows more arrows launching towards Loki. As he goes, stop! Enough already!
Then, will you join?
And Loki sticks his tongue out and goes, nah, like he's making, and he's still not complying. Sorry, I gave myself hiccups now, so that's fantastic. He's still not complying, and it appears that Gunko just continuously beats him up, and his screams are heard. These hiccups! There we go. His screams are heard echoing throughout all of Elbaf. And then it just cuts to the other person that's sitting next to Gunko. And we can easily tell that he has both of his arms. And he has this big old long saber as he's sitting right next to the wolf that basically Gunko killed. And he's just sitting there, and Gunko is huffing and puffing, and then this person goes, that's enough, Gunko. I saw the face! He takes his hood off, and we see his whole body. He has long flowing locks, a face that looks exactly like Shanks. And he goes, let's change tactics. Contact Marie Joie. And Gunko is just looking. I'm sick of all these useless people. I'd hope we could have settled this much more cleanly.
Indeed. It seems he'd rather die than join us. Is this some religious thing?
Commander of the Holy Knights, World Noble, Figureland Shamrock, son of Saint Garling. I'm back. Family also pulled me away, but I had to take a moment. I had to take a breather. Ah! Commander of the Holy Knights, World Noble, Figureland Shamrock, son of Saint Garling of the Five Elders, and Holy Knights Gunko, Arrow Woman, Arrow Fruit. We were way off. It's not bind, it's not ban, it's not rap. She literally has an arrow fruit. And he's decked out. He's got both his arms. He uses a saber as well. He's decked out. Oh, he looks incredibly. If Shanks was into... If Shanks... Okay. The fact that he looks like Shanks makes me question so many more things. So now the theories of Shanks and Shamrock. Shanks, Shamrock. Oh, the theories. The theories are going to be in full swing now. Let's change tactics. Contact Marie Joie. I'm sick of all these useless people. I'd hope we could have settled this much more cleanly.
Indeed, it seems he'd rather die than join us. Is this some religious thing?
The vicious warriors of Elbaf, who conquered the New World long ago, will be brought under the command of the world government once and for all. They're here to bring the giants to heel. They're here. Okay, so if there isn't any more of an indication that the world government is the bad guy, they sent 2 holy knights here to take control of Elbaf and all of the giants in it. They're here to take over the entirety of Elbaf. The world See, and that's the end of the chapter. We need to talk. Still hate the secret evil twin trope. When's the last time you seen an evil twin in a series, Halster, for you to say that you hate this trope so much? When's the last time that you've seen this trope of an evil twin for you to say that you hate this trope? When's the last time? Don't worry, I'll wait. We need to talk about this. I'd like the Figureland storyline more if there wasn't the twin thing. Unfortunately for the world government, the Straw Hat crew won't let that happen. We need to talk. We need to talk about this. Let me see what you guys have said. Owl, good to see you guys. Let me acknowledge everybody. Let's see. Yo, what's going on? Lucky for your crew's patient. No break. The goal for Who's Who to be setting up a base on occupied Yonko territory. Who's Who apparently has a death wish. Let's see, hearing different voices. Don't worry, I saw it skip. I wonder why it keeps doing that. Let's see, doesn't Moria have horns too? Though, to be fair, they're very different horns. Moria doesn't... I wouldn't call those horns per se. More like, weird protrusions. Yeah, hearing different voices. Yeah, W narrator. Yeah, that's me. Yeah. Let's see, he's an ogre as well, I think, except Drake, all the Toby Ropo have horns. Yeah. But I wouldn't say that they have like giant blood in them though. Cuz part of me thinks that that's just part of either their hats that they have on, and then ones that they wear. Black Maria is the only one that has horns that are not that look like they're a part of her body, it would seem, from the Toby Ropo. But I'll have to look through them again. Yeah, let's see. You're right. Moria does have tiny horns, very tiny horns. Young Rodo kind of looks like Mr. Four. The heck is with Beats by Dre, Beats by Gunko. That is something I want to discuss with you all after the chapter is over. Her powers, I mean. Let's see. In other words, Loki is saying, bite me. So do people still think that Shanks is evil? Now what? Nah. So Garling isn't the head anymore. Now he's a Godosei. Glad to have that confirmed. So the evil twin it is, not a clone. Evil twin. We don't know the full story. Out of sync? Audio's fine. My audio's fine. It just buffered a little bit. Let's see. Fortunately for the World Cup. So here's the thing. No, Who's Who had horns on the Shanks flashback back in 1054. Thank you, Ogata. I can count on Ogata to correct me if I am wrong, or when I am wrong. Not a matter of if, but when I am wrong. So thank you for that. We need to talk about this chapter. This is the last chapter for January. And we're not going on break after this? Are you serious? So hold on, let me see here. One, I like doing the long synopsis of chapters that we get. And hopefully they got it down so I can read through it, because, So you know what this means? It means that the person that showed up to the Godosei all those years ago, that was not Shanks, it was Shamrock. Now we have a confirmation. Now we have an absolute confirmation that it was Shamrock, Figureland Shamrock, who showed up. So now the question is, why was Shamrock? So you mean, I wonder if Shamrock was saying, like, I'd like to discuss with you a certain pirate, and the pirate Shamrock was referring to was Shanks. It wasn't Shanks talking to the Godosei, saying, I would like to talk to you about a certain pirate, not Blackbeard and not Luffy, but what if it was Shamrock who wanted to discuss Shanks? There's a 1,000% chance that Luffy and crew are about to run into the Holy Knights before they can abduct Loki. Do you know what this means? Luffy is about to have one massive head trip. Because if Luffy runs into Shamrock, who looks just like Shanks, there is going to be confusion as to why Shanks has his arm back, why he's all dressed up like that, and why he doesn't immediately recognize Luffy. Shamrock and Luffy are going to encounter each other. It's bound to happen. And there's going to be so much confusion as to why Shanks to Luffy looks so different. And that's when the truth of Shanks and Shamrock's relation to each other, if there is one, I'm just saying, on the possibility of if, before we get something, unless Shamrock has a different hair color. Well, given the fact that Shamrock's hair is drawn the same way and colored in and shaded in the exact same way that Shanks's hair is, it makes you wonder, because if it was blonde or a light color, it wouldn't be lightly shaded in compared to other people's hair that we see within this series. So we'll definitely have to see. But the encounter of Shamrock and Luffy, oh yeah, that's inevitable. That has got to be inevitable. So before that, let me see. Does the wiki have the page? Ah, there it is, right there. Introducing Shamrock. That is crazy. Okay? That is crazy. Yes, a long summary. I love it. So let's go. Arriving at Aura's castle, Rode tells the Straw Hats that no one has set foot in the castle in the 14 years since Harold's death, but the broken gate and lack of guards has him concerned. Zoro says it couldn't have been invaders since the gate was broken from the inside, but Luffy charges in anyway. Once inside, the Straw Hats are amazed by how huge the castle is, so much so that Nami figures walking through it is impossible. At least until Rode starts carrying the three of them. While walking through the castle, the Straw Hats notice some more damage to the castle, but Rode explains that these ruins were the result of Harold and Loki's fight. The level of damage caused, he says, was inevitable between the two of them. The four come across piles of giant skeletons, where Rode tells the three that Loki killed over 100 soldiers, with the only survivors being Loki himself and Jarl, and since then the castle has remained off limits. Luffy notices one skull has large horns, which reminds him of oars, and Rode tells him that some giants had the blood of ancient giants coursing through them, though no pure-blooded ones exist anymore. They then see a portrait of King Harold, where Rode calls him the best king they ever had, because of his desire to connect Elbaf to the outside world. However, Rode tells the crew that Harold also had ancient giant blood, but he chose to tear out his horns as he considered the ancient giants a relic of the era of wars, which surprises the Straw Hats. Rode then tells the three that the one person who hates Loki the most for killing the king is none other than Harudin himself, revealing him to be King Harold's other son. Nami is surprised to learn they are brothers, but Rode clarifies that they are half-brothers, as Harudin was born to a giant woman who wasn't the queen. He also reveals that Harudin's mother was not given permission to be queen herself, as she was born in another kingdom, and in Elbaf they consider the blood of other giants mixing with their own tainting, prompting Nami to remark on how discriminatory the giants are. I mean, Harudin's, Rode's first interaction and Loki's first interaction kind of paints that picture for the rest of us. Zoro asks Rode why he serves someone with dirtied blood, and Rode thinks back to when he first met Harudin, who offered to be his friend when he saw he could make maps, as Rode didn't have any friends as a child due to his hobbies. Rode tells the three that he considers Harudin an honest person, and even though he didn't live in the castle due to his mixed heritage, and his mother was despised by the others, Harudin endured it all and proudly proclaimed he would unite all of the giant tribes of the world and become the king of the giants. And Rode wants to help him achieve that goal. That is when Luffy notices some giants laying on the ground, the ones that Gunko subdued with her recently revealed devil fruit. Down in the underworld, Gunko, who is revealed to have eaten the Aro no Mi. See, this is the reason why I just leave it to Oda to come up with devil fruit names. Because we had Bando no Mi, and Rapu no Mi, and Bando no Mi. But Aro no Mi, it just rolls off the tongue so well. Down in the underworld, Gunko, who is revealed to have eaten the Aro no Mi, starts attacking Loki using arrows she generates from her clothes. Loki tells her that the only reason he's taken the beating is because he can't move, but Gunko's partner tells him it wouldn't make a difference if he could. Even if Loki could move, it would not matter to Gunko. That's how sure of her abilities they are. Gunko is in disbelief that a commoner like Loki would reject their offer of divination as her arrows move around Loki's face. Loki deduces that the arrows signify where Gunko's attacks are going to land as she asks once again if he will join them. But Loki stubbornly refuses, and Gunko's attacks hit him as he knew they would. Eventually, Loki passes out from his injuries as her partner tells her to stop. They beat Loki. Gunko beat Loki into unconsciousness. Taking off his hood, the man's name is revealed to be Figureland Shamrock, the son of Garling, and a commander in the God's Knights, Holy Knights. Shamrock tells Gunko to get in touch with Marijois, as their plans are revealed to be bringing the giants of Elbaf under the thumb of the world government by any means necessary. And that is where we stand. On the wiki, it says Garling was a previous commander. Don't know though, because Ogata's point of Garling being called Supreme Commander really makes me think otherwise. Sounds a little prejudiced to me for the Elbafians. A lot of prejudice for giants that see humans as lesser. When you encounter Shanks and Luffy, you don't really get that feeling. But with Road, let me see. It's just Qushu. Good designs. Good to see you. But here with Rodo and a couple of giants, I think it's just Rodo and Loki. They've been the only ones who have been fully discriminatory towards humans thus far. No one else really has, because a lot of them were brought up with King Harold and just enjoyed the peace that he created until he fought with Loki and died. So that's one thing. But we need to address and what did I tell you? We're gonna talk way more about this when we get to the end of this month, which will be on a Friday. So Friday will be January, the very first One Piece reflection stream where we talk about all the chapters that we got in January. Friday, we will be talking about everything we've encountered. What did I keep telling you guys the moment Garling set foot in the Room of Power with the rest of the elders? I told you he was the most active member, right? I told you that he would be the one that would get the ball rolling and say, like, why y'all sitting down? We need to get to work. And no sooner did I say this, but now we got two God's Knights, Gunko and his own son, Shamrock, who are there. And they're there to bring the giants to heel under the rule of the world government. Because the giants have been unaffiliated with the world government the entire time. Not only that, but they're basically just a race of giants. And if you bring the entire nation of a race of giants under your thumb, under your control, you have a fighting force that is just absolutely insane to stand up against. Forget about pacifistas. Forget about Seraphim. An entire nation of giants you could have under your control. That is the next move of the world government right now. And I told you that Garling would be that person that says, no, we need to get moving right now. We already dealt with that whole mess with Vegapunk. Now we need to keep moving as we bring the whole world to heel. So did King Harold meet with the world government, and that's why there's a magic circle in the castle? I don't think the magic circle is there permanently as a means of like allowing people to get into the castle. I think that just appears when someone is teleported, when someone is just straight up teleported. I don't think that summoning circle is just already there beforehand. Because due to the fact of, Saturn bringing in the other elders with him, I think that's something that can just be done. It doesn't have to be there preemptively. It can just be done. Because there wasn't a summoning circle on Egghead before Saturn teleported in. It just manifested. It just manifested on the island. So I think the same thing applies here. It's not something that is drawn to allow easy access into a kingdom, but I feel it is something that just happens when someone is being teleported to a place, by the Godo say. That's just me, though. Let me see what you guys are saying, because we are talking about some good stuff right now. Luffy, Shanks! Where are your scars? And why do you have your left arm? Who are you? On the wiki, okay, let me see. Sounds of the printer. What if Luffy senses with his observation haki that he is not Shanks? Given the fact that Luffy has had to take a lot of time fighting strong opponents, that has enhanced his armament, enhanced his observation, and enhanced his conquerors, he would be able to tell if the vibe from this person that looks like Shanks is not the same person as Shanks. The fact that his name is Shamrock, too. Starting to think that maybe King Harold wasn't as peaceful as he's being made out to be. Let me see. So to King Harold. Okay, I already read that. I would love for that to be the case. Then Luffy fights him. I'm thinking King Harold was secretly in cahoots with the world government. I'm with Ozzy on that. So the Holy Knight's ship must be nearby. Either nearby or they were just straight up teleported in and they can be teleported out. We don't know the limitations for summoning circles used by the Gorosei. And we don't even know if it's only the Gorosei who can use it. What if it's something that any member of the Holy Knights can use? We don't know the ins and outs yet. That's something that we need to look out for. If we understand how these circles get put in a place for people to teleport in and out, then we can understand who can use them, who can't, and their limitations. So I'm not going to say that King Harold was in cahoots with the world government just because of that summoning circle, since we already had evidence that it doesn't need to be drawn or put on a place preemptively in order for someone to teleport in. So if King Harold was indeed in cahoots with the world government, wouldn't they just have an easy way of getting into Elbaf already? Why suddenly the need for them to bring the giants on? Give me a sec. Good point. Yeah, see, this is the reason why y'all shouldn't let me think about the stuff y'all say, because then I'll start thinking about stuff that may prove evidence to the contrary. Not saying that your ideas aren't good, but my contrarian ideas come from when you guys say stuff, and I'm thinking like, wait, I don't know if that would fit, because then there would be evidence of it happening in other times, and that would, they would have such a hard time getting in and out of the country or getting anything from Elbaf in general if this was da 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 and that was da 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 da. But Elbaf is turning out to be straight fire. Yes. How many chapters are we into Elbaf? Like 6? I want to say 7. I want to say no. You know what? I'm gonna look it up. Elbaf arc chapters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7. 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Elbaf arc 11, 20 chapters, 11, 26, all the way to 1137. Yeah, 1, 2, yeah, 10. We're 10 chapters in. 10, 11, 12 now. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We are 12 chapters into Elbaf. 12 chapters. Thank you, Ogata. But one thing is certain, Loki is not as bad as he's being made out to be by his fellow countrymen. We'll see. We shall see. We're 12 chapters into Elbaf. And when Oda went on that break to say, I'm finalizing the final saga of One Piece and making sure everything lines up, he was not kidding. Because everything is lining up for this final saga ever since we got done with Wano. And Elbaf introducing Loki, the giants, their history, members of the Holy Knights that we're seeing for the very first time. Other than Garling, Gunko and Shamrock, the son of Saint Garling. And you know there's more, right? There's more Holy Knights that we haven't seen yet. We don't even know if Shamrock has any devil fruit powers, or if he's probably like his dad and he doesn't, and he's just pure strength. I said it before. Out of all the Gorosei members, what if Garling is the only one who doesn't have a devil fruit power and he just has strength and swordsmanship, and that's it? And if Shamrock, I was about to say Shanks, if Shamrock is the same way, I'm just saying, and Elbaf is just the appetizer to the Throne Wars, look. 12 chapters into Elbaf, and I'm like, we haven't had much breaks. We haven't had too many breaks for us to feel like, oh, this is dragging on for a while. No, Oda has been packing every single one of these chapters. So far, we got the full reveal of Elbaf. It's not this frozen wasteland. It's a giant tree from which the wood that makes up the Odo Jackson and the Thousand Sunny. An entire nation of giants. They can literally sail on rainbows. And we also find out that this is the same place that Saul has been at ever since he's been chilling. We got the reunion of Jaguar, Saul, and Robin. All the information from Ohara has been held inside of this giant library, which I really hope Shamrock and Gunko never find out about. Because it'll just be Ohara 3.0. Because Ohara 2.0 was Egghead. But Ohara 3.0 would happen if Gunko and Shamrock find out about the books that they got from Ohara. That actually concerns me now. I was just thinking about that. All that information from Ohara about the Void Sentry and all that knowledge. If Gunko and Shamrock find out about this library that has all the preserved information from Ohara, it's going to be all out war for info. And I know Robin would fight to her very last to preserve that information. I'm just saying. Let's see. And also, thanks, Roto, for the lore dump of this chapter. That pains me to say. Yeah, he does not. He deserves very little praise. The dude is still a perv. He deserves very little praise. He does deserve a little praise, which sucks. He does deserve it, but we're not going to give it to him. I'm not going to be that person that says, like, you did well with the exposition, but that's like saying, like, you did good on this test. Thank you for signing your name. We don't give participation rewards up in this channel. You either do some work or you get nothing. There's no participation trophies. To make things worse, Roto essentially is an otaku by Elbaf standards. He is, because of his ultra rare Nami and ultra rare Zoro and ultra rare figures. Yeah, ultra rare Straw Hat Crew, he treats them all like SH figure art figures. I still need to open my Satoru Gojo one from Jujutsu Kaisen 0. I haven't opened that one yet. I gotta mess with that one. But, like that. It's like that. So you can give him praise, but he don't deserve it. Him talking about lore, that is your reasonable services. We don't give prizes out for doing your job. What, you want, a cookie? You're supposed to be telling us this stuff, since we don't know. That's what you're supposed to do. It's like dude saying, like, I take care of my kids. You're supposed to. What you want, a gold star? You're supposed to be taking care of your kids. I hate that I can relate to Roto at all. You don't have to feel that way. Don't force yourself. Don't do it to yourself. Don't pain yourself to go through that. But I'm going to say this, though. The encounter with Luffy and Shamrock, because you know what's going to happen. Oh, that is going to be interesting overall. Still, it seems that Rodo has a good part, too. He considers Harudin his friend, and he wants to help him be the king of giants. It just took him getting beaten up by his own fellow crewmates for him to realize, you know what? Maybe this isn't the correct course of action that I need to go through. Super ultra rare Zoro with the kung fu grip. Exactly. And he's got like the switch on his back where he can grip, where he can make his hand just like grip over and over and over again. How many of y'all had toys that had just a switch on the back and they did something in the front? Just classic gimmick toys like that. I had dozens of them. I remember having a Venom figure that would shoot web out of his chest. And then I broke open his chest to see the mechanism, and I could never get it put back together again. So that was a figure that was just utterly destroyed. So there was that. But I'm droning on. We will talk more about One Piece when we get to this week's this month's reflection stream on Friday. All I need to say is that we got these holy nights And Shamrock says, contact Marie-Joie. I'm done messing with these useless people. They're trying to recruit Loki to be a holy knight as well. Not because they value his strength, but because they want his power. Because he has a devil fruit power. He's chained up by sea prism stone chains to the very tree that makes up his entire home. They don't want Loki because of his strength. They want him because of his devil fruit strength. And we still don't know what that is. But if they get in contact with Marie-Joie, and we see Garling says like, yes, you have my permission to do this, then it'll just confirm everything I said, that Garling is out here making moves while the Godosei and the rest of them with liver spots are just sitting on the couch going like, we need to think about this. No, we need to talk about this. Garling's all like, no, y'all need to shut up and we need to do something right now. If we see Garling when they contact Marie-Joie and Garling is the one who's speaking and he speaks to Shamrock personally, it will just confirm what I've been saying these past couple of weeks. Oh my goodness, Elbaf is about to be insane. My Thundercat action figure comes to mind. Lionel's eyes would glow. You gotta love those toys where you press a button and the eyes light up on the inside. I had a toy that did something like that before, but I can't remember exactly which one it was. I forget which. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm not gonna keep you here any longer than I already have. This was a fantastic chapter of One Piece. It got me out of my chair. And I'm not counting the times when my family needed me for something. It got me out of my chair when we got the full reveal for Shamrock. And now we need to think about all the other times that we've seen him before. What? Oh, look at the food. Thank you, sister. This is, we got food. We got food. Y'all need to stop playing. We got food. I'm definitely gonna be eating this as soon as I get done with this reaction. But, ladies and gentlemen, we have so much happening right now. In Elbaf, we got the Holy Knights, and here's the thing. Now, the big battle that's going to be... Because you always know there's a big battle and like a massive fight that happens in every place that we go to in One Piece. And I'm going to conclude with this. There's going to be a massive fight to decide... The Holy Knights are here to bring the giants under the world government's thumb. There is going to be a fight to keep the land of the giants free. Those vocals, though, amazing. Thank you. I dabble in singing a little bit, though I'm a far better musician than I am a singer. But, there's going to be a fight to decide the fate of the giants, whether or not the world government can get to them. This is where we're at right now, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to eat my food before we start with Sakamoto Days. So I hope you guys understand if I take a little bit to eat all of my food. But... there's going to be a battle to decide the fate of the giants of One Piece. The great warrior land of Elbaf is hanging in the balance whether it stays free with the person in all white who is his most free or under the rule of the Holy Knights and the world government. And reminder, the world government tried this with a nation before. They tried to do that with Wano. They wanted to do that with Wano if Momonosuke opened up the borders. But since Momonosuke says no, it's not yet time for the borders of Wano to open up, the world government couldn't force their way in. And they can't force their way in now. But now, the next nation they're trying to look to take over, to have in their command and under their thumb, is the giant nation of Elbaf. That's the purpose of the Holy Knights being there. So, the big thing that is going to decide this entire arc is whether or not the world government succeeds. You know, it's such a wonderful time to be alive. And I'm not going to make this sappy or anything, but it's such a wonderful time to be alive, to enjoy One Piece. Burger time for you? I'm trying to get my outro here. Okay, yeah. Burger time for you. It's sandwich time for me. I got bacon. I got ham. I got what looks to be turkey and cheese and lettuce and sour cream and onion chips. So it's time to eat. But I need to say this for everyone. Thank you. Firstly, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in, especially if it was your first time tuning into this channel. I greatly appreciate the time we spent here. But Ogata, Halster, Ozzy, New Experience, Cohagen, Jordan Hill, every single person that showed up today, thank you. Designs, thank you all for just tuning in to this session of One Piece. I look forward to seeing you guys again when we talk about all the One Piece chapters in January on this upcoming Friday, and then see where we go in February. Ought to be fun, ought to be interesting. But thank you for all your support. Thank you to all my members, my moderators, my subscribers, and new viewers. Thank you all. It's been amazing, but I'm going to go ahead and eat my food before we continue with the next reaction for Sakamoto Days. So thank you. Hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. Like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day, and once again, as always, later, peoples!